I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. Tonight it will be the Stars and Cars of the iRacing Sprint Car Cup, coming to you from one of the most historic venues in all of auto racing. No, it's not Irwindale Speedway. That's what the description says, but the producer's an idiot. We're at the Milwaukee Mile this evening, where Scott Pruitt holds the track record at a 21.519 second lap set back in 1998 in a 97i Reynard for the kart series. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us here tonight as we are getting ready for another championship crowning evening, and this one is going to be close. Tracy Petter sitting on 1,274 points. He is your points leader, and he is carrying the number one. He said he wouldn't be here. Shows what everybody else knows. Let's pick up the guy who is currently running second. That is Derek Love. And he will be carrying the number two here this evening on lap number one of his qualification run. It is about 29 points, the difference between first and second. D-Love has a 130-point drop week to clear as well, so it's about 168 to 169 points. Derek Love going to have a very, very nice night this evening, and he's going to start it by going quick time of the early qualifiers, 27.682 seconds. James Nudd, Richard Hoban, Ronald Gibbons, your top four. Ronald checking in with us before the race, asking us to give a shout out to the Gray County paramedics. What's up, people? I am so psyched to know that we've got a whole pile of our nation's first responders out here hanging out in the day room watching us. D-Love, lap number 2, 27.682. He does not score on lap number 2. Let's pick up Todd Taylor in the TNT Racing number 9. Oh, baby. Big slide there off of turn number 4. You're going to see a whole lot of that here this evening. Lap number 2 for Taylor does not improve, but Zach Evans does. He's going to be up to third at a 28.043. Lap number 1 for Tracy Petter, 35.627, but that was his out lap. This will be that first lap did not score. Lap number 2 for Petter. He's over the line, 27.531. New quick time. Tracy Petter to the top of the board. He's going to take the championship fight right to Derek Love. Now we get a look at the red ream rocket of Josh Batista. Sign on checking into the comments here saying oldest track in iRacing and one of the oldest in the world. That is correct. The Milwaukee Mile, originally a mile-long horse racing venue. They ran it as a dirt track as Batista. Look at that. He's going to wad it up right over the start-finish line. The lap should count. He's going to be third, quick at 27.917. Still waiting for, let's see who we can find. Let's pick up Mr. Evnovsky, making his way down the back stretch. The Coors Extra Gold. Hunter Racing Engines, number 21. Coming around to complete his first qualification lap. And it will go on the board as a 27.555 second quick. Only behind Tracy Petter and only by 24 thousandths of a second. Gonna bump D-Love to the inside of row number 2. Jeffrey Stanton, Ted Lee, both on the racetrack with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. So everybody should get their laps in here in qualifications. Car a little twitchy off of turn number 4. Lap number 2 for Drevnovsky will be a tick faster, but it's not enough. He goes from 24 thousandths back to 22 thousandths back. Stanton, lap number 1, he's not going to be real thrilled with in the 7th position at a 20.080. See what Jeffrey can do here on lap number 2. Kind of diamonding off that corner. Man, he's twitchy, trying to keep the foot in it, down over the line. Jeffrey Stanton, lap number 2, will be just a tick slower, actually. So he will sit on the 28.080. Here's Ted Lee. He'll be the final car to get in a time here in qualifications. 14th on the grid after lap number 1. Lap number 2 is a huge improvement, but unfortunately not enough to move him up on the grid here this evening. So 14 cars getting gridded up, a strength of field at 28.98. And while the field is starting to get out here onto the racing surface, let's go ahead. Well, let's see, make sure we got all the right paint schemes up. It looks like we do. So let's go ahead and give you a look at tonight's starting lineup. On the pole for round number 12 of 2024 Season 2, the season finale for the iRacing Sprint Car Cup. It will be the RaceEPI.com number 98 Hunter Racing engines on the side of that one as well for Tracy Petter. On the outside, the number 21 Coors Extra Gold entry belonging to Mitch Drevnovsky. Row number 2, the Street Side Classics machine belonging to Derek Love, and on his outside, the Red Ream Rocket, that number 20 of Josh Batista. Inside of row number 3, lively pink-colored race car there belonging to James Nunn. And on the outside, the Me-Fine, number 6 of Zach Evans. Jeffrey Stanton, then up Auto Parts, Rockwell, North Carolina, number 94, inside of the 4th row. He will line up alongside of the 7 of Indiana's Hunter Smith. 5th row of the grid, the TNT Racing, number 9, belonging to South Carolina's Todd Taylor, alongside of the number 13, the Chiquita Banana of Richard Homan. Well, let's see. We'll cycle through everybody here quickly because I hit the wrong button. There it is. Row number 6. The Scoopco, number 11 of Canada's Ronald Gibbons. Another lively pink race car. Aaron Parsons starting on the outside of the 6th row. 7th row going to be the Kibu, number 8 of Germany's Laura Gerhardt, alongside of Ted Lee from Florida in the number 14. Field making their way through turns 3 and 4. We are about to go racing. Pace car is just about to make the hard left-hand turn. Not quite there yet, though. Tracy Petter really backing the field up here. He's going to grab the loud pedal, and away we go. 30 laps to go here at the Milwaukee Mile. It's a drag race to the start-finish line, and it's going to be Tracy Petter leading the lap, but Mitch Drevnovsky may have the advantage off at 2. Derek Love trying to make it a 2-for-1 blue light special. Unfortunately, not able to pull that one off there for D-Love. Batista holding on up there at the front as well. James Nunn holding that 5th position, but he's already about a quarter second back of Batista. Todd Taylor getting around Richard Homan for the 9th position. Just saw those two. Towards the back of your screen, we continue to follow Tracy Petter and Derek Love. Mitch Drevnovsky absolutely could be a dark horse for the championship. Currently, he's 4th in points, over 225 points back. But he's only counted 7 weeks. You get 8 here on the iRacing platform. You count your best 8 of 12. Because Drevnovsky's only scored 7, anything he earns tonight will be counted toward his championship total. He's looking at about 200 points or so if he wants to catch Petter and Love. But if something big happens here between Derek Love and Tracy Petter in this battle for second, could open up the door to a championship here. Let's take a look. Back here, find Jeffrey Stanton. Oh, hold up. Battle for second. Getting good. Petter inside of Love through 1 and 2. Maybe a little bit of right side romance on corner entry. A sign-on saying, drop scores. And F1 used to do this in the 1980s. F1 did this for most of its history, actually, going all the way back. And the part of the reason for that was a lot of the teams didn't want to come run the Indy 500 when that was a part of the F1 World Championship calendar. By adding in the drop scores, it made it so you didn't have to come run the greatest spectacle in racing. Obviously, Enzo Ferrari doesn't know what Indy means. Jeffrey Stanton trying to chase down James Nunn here, a little bit further back in the pack. Ronald Gibbons getting around Aaron Parsons at the entry to turn number 1. Nice, efficient pass there. Parsons holding that outside lane, though, able to make up a bunch of ground at the midpoint of the corner. And this race already working lap number 8. It'll be lap number 9 here very, very shortly. In fact, it is now, as your race leader is over the start-finish line. Talking with some of the drivers in the pre-race about this, the Sprint Car Cup races are either the fastest races on the iRacing platform or the absolute slowest races on the iRacing platform. But it feels like there is not a whole lot of in-between. If they can keep the cars on the straight and narrow, races tend to go by very, very quickly. I mean, we're a third of the way through this thing and less than 5 minutes in. This race could be over in about 13 minutes or so. The Sprint Car Cup holds the record here on the National Racing Network for fastest iRacing official series race, clocking in at 11 minutes and 48 seconds. I don't think they're going to be able to get there tonight, but they're certainly going to put an effort in towards it. Todd Taylor is going to have Hunter Smith breathing down his neck very, very shortly here. At the front of the field, Mitch Drevnovsky holding a 2/3 second advantage over Tracy Petter. Derek Love had cut it down to about a 1/10 and a half, but he falls back to 3/10 back as Ted Lee has to make a pit stop here on lap number 11. New fastest lap of the race, and it belongs to Tracy Petter. 27.622. He is starting to close in on Mitch Drevnovsky here at the head of the line. Let's slide up a little further. Pick up James Nunn and Jeffrey Stanton. This is the battle for a top 5 position. Oh, and Stanton way loose inside. What a save by Jeffrey Stanton. Maybe got a little bit of a pinch from Nunn at the exit of corner number 4. Stanton really had to hook the car down to the inside and gave up about a half second to Nunn, which puts him right back into the grips of Taylor, Smith, and Evans. Let's pick up the Exorcist cam on board of Jeffrey Stanton. Very similar to that CarQuest cage cam look you'd get on Tuesday Night Thunder back in the 1980s. The fact that I can remember watching those makes me feel very, very old. Most of this crowd knows Jeff Gordon as an executive with Hendrick Motorsports. I remember him as a 14-year-old kid driving sprint cars across Indiana. Man, the kid was good too. Carried the ugliest Diet Pepsi colors on his helmet and on the car. Taylor not really making up any ground here on Stanton. But Jeffrey Stanton is right there on James Nunn. Caution is out. Caution is out for the first time here this evening. And unfortunately, it looks like it may be Ronald Gibbons having an issue. Let's take a look at the NRN replay, see what happened to Gibbons in the number 11. Oh, just almost straight lined it, and a huge series of flips down the back straightaway. Oh my goodness. Oh baby, but he sticks the landing. The question is he able to drive the car away? And it looks like he will not be. So now we're going to hide the timing tower so any of the epileptics that are watching us don't have issues. Mitch Drevnovsky had built up about a 2-second gap over Tracy Petter and Derek Love. And that now will all be erased as we work lap number 18. So we'll pick up your race leader here in that pretty gold leaf Coors Extra Gold in number 21. Getting a nice little reflection there off the tail tank. It will be 13 laps to go when we go back to green flag racing. Going to go at least one more lap behind the iRacing safety car. Gibbons, the only car on pit lane at this point. Ted Lee, an early retirement. He is 6 laps behind the race leaders and out of the race. So the lights are out on the iRacing safety car. We will get ready to go back to green flag racing here, and it will be with 12 laps to go. On the initial start, Tracy Petter kept the field really woed up. The question now becomes, when will Mitch Drevnovsky make the move? It's a little bit more difficult here at the Milwaukee Mile because Ordinarily, you might see the pace car starting to make the move to pit lane, basically right at the exit of turn number 4. That just doesn't happen here. In fact, you can see Drevnovsky leaving a huge gap to the pace car. He could get a black flag if he leaves too much of a gap. But the pace car well onto the front straightaway before it can make the turn onto pit lane. Green flag goes back in the air. We are underway with 12 to go. Patter going to get a great run into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Tracy Petter, looking for the lead inside into turn number 1 with 11 circuits remaining. Oh, forces Drevnovsky to slide a little bit wide on corner exit. Petter's going to have the lead clear into turn number 3, but will Drevnovsky be able to attempt the crossover? Here it comes on the exit of the corner. Oh, and what a power move off the corner by Drevnovsky. Fishtails at the line, but it's going to be Mitch Drevnovsky leading the lap. Petter dives back down to the inside into 1 and 2. Drevnovsky slides way up towards the wall, exiting the corner. Handling starting to go away on these race cars in a big way. You can see the back ends fishtailing all over the place. This is not just a battle for the race win. This is the battle for the championship. Your top 3 all lined up together. Going on board with Mitch Drevnovsky. Petter right behind D-Love, having to look inside. Love may be able to get clear of Tracy Petter through 3 and 4 this time. And he does. Now Batista going to go looking inside of Petter as well. Tracy slams the door closed into turn 1. You really hear Drevnovsky having to get out of the throttle. Oh, D-Love slides a little bit high through the corner. That's going to open the door for Petter to make the inside look. But D-Love, same thing, just absolutely slams that door closed. From that onboard, objects in rear view are closer than they appear. Well, sort of, opposite, I guess. Because it's going to be a 3-4 car length gap as D-Love goes for a slide. Oh, and there's contact with Petter. How did neither one of those guys wreck? Tracy Petter was climbing up over the back of Derek Love. They wrecked. Just didn't finish the job. Five laps remain in the iRacing Sprint Car Cup season. Yeah, you were not seeing things. The 98 was up on 2 wheels and it was the back tires. That's the craziest part of that. Oh, is there all sorts of squirrely back in the pack? Oh my goodness. I hate to look away from this at the front, but good Lord. They are trying to wad race cars up in the back of the field. We'll get the replay ready to be queued up. As D-Love just has absolutely nothing for Tracy Petter that time. Oh, but Petter's going to get way squirrely off of 4. Exactly what Mitch Drevnovsky wants to see. A hard battle for second. Second and potentially the championship. I don't know that Tracy Petter can improve his score much, if at all. because of some of the really high SOFs we had earlier this season. Derek Love would even have to score about 168, 170 points. I don't know that he's going to get that outside of a trip to victory lane. The question is, what does Mitch Drevnovsky score? White flag is out. 1 lap to go here at the Milwaukee Mile. The Wisconsin State Fairgrounds, West Allis, Wisconsin, playing host to a classic for the iRacing Sprint Car Cup. Mitch Drevnovsky has led all but 2 circuits of tonight's race in a dominating performance off of turn number 4. Twin checkers will go in the air, and Mitch Drevnovsky gets the win at Milwaukee. Tracy Petter, Derek Love will round out the podium. Mitch Drevnovsky will bring that car around and park it in victory lane. And now the waiting game begins. We'll wait. Race results are now official. So we'll be able to show you your race results, and then we'll go back to keep refreshing the points championship to see where everything stands. Drevnovsky gets the win by a half second over Petter and Love to complete the podium. Josh Batista and Hunter Smith round out the top 5. Todd Taylor, Zach Evans, Jeffrey Stanton, James Nunn, and Richard Homan back through 10th position here this evening. And second page of the leaderboard will have Aaron Parsons, Laura Gerhart, Ronald Gibbons, and Ted Lee. Race took 17 minutes and 6 seconds to complete. And let's bring in our third place finisher up into the booth with us here, Mr. Derek Love. And Derek, I got to ask you, about lap 26 or so, Tracy was up on 2 wheels riding up over the back of you. How did you guys not wad up a couple of race cars there?
Yeah, I think that's just us running around together up there at the front. Man, I was trying to figure that out as well. You know, there was a couple times right at after that last restart that we were making every effort we could. Leaving a little disappointed this season, this race. Really needed that victory tonight. I think that would have been enough, but I'm not sure how it would have shaken out with them coming in as well. So could have been a really good one. We'd still walk away, I think, with the most wins this season. Put on a good show. We just got to get a little bit quicker. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you had an incredible season. 31 starts over the 12 weeks, 20 wins. My math says that's a 2/3 win rate in this car. 28 of 31 were top 5 finishes. Ultimately, it's just a couple of places a place in one SOF night a little bit earlier in the season. But that just goes to show how important those early season races are when we see some of the SOFs up near 4,000.
Right, and I gave away some points, honestly. I like to see the season. You know, if any race goes off, I try to jump in it. And if you do more than 4 races in a week, it starts to average your points. So there's, I think, at least two, maybe 3 of my weeks have 5 races in them. You know, that's where I picked up some wins and just kind of out there, just trying to get a races going official. It kind of pulls away from my points. Who knows? I didn't care to do the math on how that would have shooken out. You know, I can't be too bad on myself walking away with stats like that, like you said. You know, but you always just want to walk away with that last little chip at the end. Well,
either way, it was a fantastic season. You put on a hell of a show for us, and thank you very much. We do appreciate it, brother. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see you. I drove past the Streetside Classic shop while I was down in Charlotte last week, but running between places, didn't have time to stop in. But good to talk to you again tonight here, Derek, and do all those thank yous and shout-outs before we let you out of the booth here.
Thank you. I thought I felt some good vibes giving me the wave as they went by, so glad to hear the shout-out from you. And, you know, the bays back at the shop really put together a great Streetside Classics machine this season. Showed that in Victory Lane enough times. We love to do it again next season, and see you then.
All right, brother. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here in the booth for just a couple of minutes. And now we're going to talk to our runner-up finisher tonight, Tracy Petter. And Tracy, I think you told us 1 week ago you probably weren't going to race tonight. Did the championship battle influence your decision to come hang out with us tonight?
Yeah, I was looking around just enough for him to probably win it if he won the race by 2 points or something. So I just had to show up.
Well, yeah.
Really didn't want to.
Well, you put on a heck of a show, and I will ask you the same question I asked Derek. You were on 2 wheels, mounting him from behind with 4 or 5 laps to go. How did you guys not wad up the race cars there?
I honestly have no clue. As soon as the wheelie popped, I just kind of held the wheel really sturdy, hoping it didn't just jut left or right and just spin out. Luckily, we survived and nobody got wrecked. I would have hate to wreck him in the championship battle right there.
Well, it was a hell of a show that you put on for us, and really a great season as well. 12 starts, or 13 starts actually, 9 wins, and 12 top 5 finishes in those 13 starts. That's how you win a championship, is consistency like that, and I think the math is going to work out just barely in your favor here. Congratulations if it is another championship for you here in the iRacing Sprint Car Cup.
Yeah, thanks for that. It should be. Maybe a Thursday SOF goes off, but very unlikely.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, is we can't call anything official tonight because there is the Thursday night race that can still happen. Does that the performances tonight, does that kind of force you to show up to that Thursday, or at least be ready to run it?
I definitely got to watch and see who's in there. There really hasn't been any big Thursday ones, so I'm hoping that there isn't one, but there could be since it's the last race.
Yeah, everybody's got to get those participation credit runs in. But Tracy, congratulations on a great season and an awesome run here tonight. Before we let you go, get in all those sponsor plugs and shout-outs for us one more time.
Thanks to you guys, as always, for doing the broadcast, and shout-out to SRS and EPI.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here. And now it's time to talk to the guy who is doing the waiting game. Mitch Drevnovsky maybe earned enough points tonight to at least contend for a podium finish in the championship. But first, we'll talk to you about tonight's race, a dominating performance for the Coors Extra Gold entry, and talk us through the night a little bit, because it's the score sheet says you led 26 of 30 laps. The reality is it was a whole lot more difficult than that.
Yeah, no, it was. I think the car felt good. I mean, in comparison to how the car drives here, it's pretty tough here, especially tonight, high track temp. It was just really skatey pretty much the whole way around. But it felt decent right off the bat, and I wanted to kind of be able to set the pace, so I tried to get by Tracy there in the beginning, and then I figured they were trying to play a little saving game and wait for a yellow, and then they got it, and we had a good little battle there, and we were able to get back to the lead and bring it home. So happy with how it drove and happy to win it.
Yeah, I would imagine that can be kind of a difficult thing to make pace, because you're trying to not necessarily run to a field number, but it's a similar concept where you're kind of looking at the relative and saying, I don't have to push this any harder than I am. Does that make it a little bit difficult to drive, though? Because you kind of have to drive this car at the limit.
Yeah, I mean, really, you probably know it. Everyone who drives it, even people who have been watching, have probably started to figure it out. No matter how fast you're kind of going in this thing, you're kind of really on the edge, and then you try to push the limit to it, and sometimes you can kind of go set a real fast pace, get a bit of a gap if you can, and then back it up and hope, let them try to use some tire up when they get to you, and then try to open it up again. So I tried to do that a little bit. I was kind of hoping maybe if it goes green the whole way, be a big gap for them to make up. Didn't play out that way, but still able to get back out front after that little battle. So
yeah, it was a hell of a race car you had tonight, and really a good season as well. 12 starts, 6 wins. I do easy math. That's a 50% win rate, and you led about 50% of the laps you completed this season. You almost have to ask, how does that kind of a season end up 4th in points whether it's third, fourth, whatever the number is, it really shows the talent level of this series and how you have to be like top of the game week in and week out.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. I kind of came in here tonight. I missed a couple races just being busy on the Tuesday nights, and that's kind of part of the deal. If you want to really contend for that championship, got to show up and win too, because like I said, everyone super talented and super just consistent, especially up front in the points. Derek, Tracy, Stanton, Josh, everybody, and came in today knowing that winning the championship probably out of reach, and I knew Derek and Tracy were going for it there, whether this was a decider for them or not. So I tried to race them extra clean and give them room when I could, while still trying to go for a win. But yeah, 50% on the season. I'm happy with that. Obviously, I think Tracy and Derek had a pretty stellar year too, their season. So good job to whoever won it. And maybe next season we can come back and contend for it.
I think we won't know until Thursday night, really, if there's another SOF that goes off. But like I said, those numbers have been a little bit off this season as well. But one way or the other, Mitch, congratulations on a fantastic season. And one more time here, give us those sponsor plugs and shout-outs.
Yeah, just first and foremost, you guys for doing all these broadcasts, this and Crown and everything else you do. Cool to watch. I watched some of the stuff going on during the Indy week and IRP and all that, and you guys do a great job. I don't know if you guys will be coming back, but if you do, I'm excited for that, and if not, really appreciate it. And just all the guys on the team, Ski Race Shop, Elite Performance Industries, Connor, Riley, Zach, Dutch Tracy, just been real fast all season, couple seasons here, so just hopefully we can keep that speed for as long as we keep running.
All right, buddy. Well, Mitch, thank you very much for the kind words. We do really appreciate hearing those, and congratulations one more time on just a fantastic season here, and quite frankly, the entire Silver Crown or Sprint Car Cup crew. Man, it's just so much fun calling these races. One of my favorite cars on the service. Some of these races we do get paid for broadcasting them. The Silver Crowns and the Sprint Cars, we do not. We don't even ask for a community funding drive from them because the community, quite frankly, is so small. So everything we do here in the Sprint Car Cup and the Silver Crown Cup is entirely supported by you, the community, the likes and the shares. That means a lot, more than you know, in terms of how that helps us out on the revenue side of things from YouTube. We really appreciate everybody that tunes in here Monday, Tuesday nights. And we still have one more night of racing coming up. That will be Thursday night. The USF Pro Championship wraps up 2024 Season 2 with a visit to the New Hampshire Motor Speedway Roval. Do not miss that show. One of the best road courses for the PM18 car on the iRacing platform. Amazing turn 5. Big bowl-shaped corner reminiscent of something you might see at the Nürburgring. And then you get out into the outfield. You drive through turns 1 and 2, make a right-hand turn, and leave the racetrack. Run a kind of little looping section through the woods, over the river, through the woods. To the backstretch we go. You come around, run a couple of corners through the infield, and do it all over again. But really, really great show for those guys coming up on Thursday night. Do not want to miss that one. 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time will be the broadcast time for the USF Pro Championship. But with that, time for us to get the heck on out of here. It has been a fantastic night of racing here at the Milwaukee Mile, and for everybody here at the National Racing Network who helps us get these shows on the air. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us, and we will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.